The quiet inside the Brown family's once bustling estate was even colder than the frigid nights in Flagstaff. Everything had altered after Robyn Brown was admitted to the hospital. Her abrupt collapse, which was first thought to be caused by extreme exhaustion, had unexpectedly descended into a coma. Despite using terms like autoimmune storm and neurological inflammation, no doctor was able to provide the family with a specific diagnosis. Her body seems to have just given up. A slow, quiet unraveling started inside the home Cody once shared with Robyn and her kids, while the outside world sent prayers and condolences on social media. In Robyn's absence, 21-year-old Aurora Brown had taken over as the de facto head of the household. She prepared food that she didn't eat. Surfaces have already been cleaned. Every night, she strolled through her mother's empty bedroom, stopping to touch her perfume bottles, stroking the worn spines of Robyn's books, and smoothing the ends of folded scarves. She had never shed a tear. Unspoken and boiling beneath the surface, her grief was locked up and raging deep. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, TLC Flicks. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Cody was physically there. Every night, he came back from the hospital long after visiting hours were over. He strolled through the house in an odd, almost respectful manner, as if he weren't supposed to be there longer, yet couldn't force himself to go. At 2 a.m, Aurora would frequently find him in the kitchen, looking blankly into a mug of tea. He seemed to want to say something all the time. He didn't. However, what both of them were tormented by was what they had not spoken. Months had passed since the kiss. A flashpoint that had been buried, not exploded or extinguished. It happened during a thunderstorm, one of those monsoons in the desert that shook windows and poured glittering rain across the city. After a small outpatient operation, Robyn had been recuperating. Aurora, feeling both invisible and in the way, had withdrawn to the living room with a blanket and a bottle of wine while Cody stayed at the house and showered her with affection. Cody was with her. They conversed concerning Robyn, regarding life, about the way everything had started to feel hollow. Then it took place, her hand brushing against his, a vulnerable moment, an overly prolonged breath. Uncertain and shaky, their lips connected, then parted as though the house itself had let out a cry. They didn't bring it up again, but everything was tainted by that moment. Robyn was in a coma for 3 weeks when Aurora discovered the act. Inside Robyn's old desk's third drawer, it was neatly packed in a manila envelope, sealed, and sent to her. Her gut churned as she saw her name written in Cody's handwriting. She pulled it open. Go over the words. Cody Wynn Brown hereby gives Aurora J. Brown complete and sole ownership of the property located at 143 Shadow Hill Road, Flagstaff, Arizona. Her knees gave way. Her entire world fell apart. There was no shouting or allegation during that night's argument. There was just sorrow and inference, lingering in the atmosphere like smoke from an unquenchable fire. With the act in her shaking hand, she muttered, I thought you wanted to protect me. Not accuse me. Cody sat opposite her, his eyes hollowed down by remorse and insomnia, his hair unkempt. I'm keeping you safe, he demanded. If Robyn has an incident, if she doesn't wake up, Aurora growled, Stop talking like that. Cody remarked, She asked me to make sure you were okay. She forced me to swear. Don't let them push her out if anything happens to me, she implored. Keep her from becoming invisible. I'm respecting that. Aurora gave a sour laugh. With inaction? With this? He didn't respond. Slowly, she stood up. You believe that what transpired between us is now forgotten? No. His voice was husky. Nothing can take that away. However, it provides you with something. Aurora averted her gaze and gazed into the dark yard beyond the window. I have no desires, not in this manner. Not from you. Mary Brown, on the other side of town, was watching all of this with growing fear. It had been weeks since she had spoken to Cody. For years, the only things keeping their relationship together had been silent resignation and nostalgia. However, Robyn's sickness and, more importantly, the change in Kody's conduct had reawakened a long-dormant aspect of her, the investigator. The Shield, the lady who formerly fought with calculated, calm passion for her family. She began to make connections, the unpredictable actions, the trips to the property late at night, Aurora's odd quiet, and now this action. It wasn't giving. It was a sign, an explosion of smoke from a sinking ship. She dug. She looked through old accounts that she could still access. As she managed the household finances, she listened to voice memos. She discovered a deleted recording that had been restored using software she never thought she would use again. The voice of Kody, broken, sentimental. I gave her a kiss. I didn't intend to. It simply happened. She gave me the same look Robyn used to give me before things became messy. And for that, I detested myself. However, it didn't stop it. Mary's heart pounded as she gazed at the waveform on her laptop. She called an old buddy, a former private investigator who had previously assisted her with family law issues, and copied the file to a USB. She stated, "I need to know if this deed is legal. And this qualifies as coercion if that's what I'm frightened about. Or worse." 2 days later, Robyn woke up, weak and confused but alive. She blinked into the light. Kody's name was the first thing she said. Aurora's was her second. They arrived to her bedside with glistening eyes and quivering smiles. Aurora sobbed while holding her mother's hand, not only because of happiness, but also because of the overwhelming weight of all she was unable to express. Robyn muttered, "You both stayed. I was saved by you." She was not corrected by one of them. Robyn started to heal in the days that followed. But it was a slow and painful process. She didn't inquire about the action. She was unaware of Kody's growing paranoia or Aurora's stealthy retreat. Not quite yet. Mary, however, had begun speaking with the Flagstaff police. A formal complaint was submitted. Investigators started obtaining public remarks, deed histories, and financial documents. Kody's phone was subpoenaed. They discovered messages that were encrypted, deleted pictures, a digital ash trail. The controversy had not been made public. However, it was on the horizon, and when it happened, it would permanently destroy the Brown family. For this was more than just a betrayal. A collapse occurred, of faith, of heritage, of all they used to pretend to be. Which would you prefer? Mary taking center stage as the family's moral compass and whistleblower, Robyn discovering the whole truth, or Aurora having to face a public and judicial reckoning. And there's more. The life of Janelle Brown in 2025 appears to be substantially different from that of the time that Sister Wives Season 19 was filmed. When she married Kody Brown, she was in her 30s and she lived with him and his 2 other wives, Christine and Mary Brown, in a polygamous family. As a member of this special family, Janelle thought she could have a happy future. Janelle and Kody had 6 children over the next 30 years. She proved to be a devoted wife and a great matriarch, doing everything she could to follow Kody's orders. The life of Janelle Brown in 2025 appears to be substantially different from that of the time that Sister Wives Season 19 was filmed. When she married Kody Brown, she was in her 30s and joined his polygamous family, living with him together with Christine Brown and Mary Brown, his other 2 wives. As a member of this special family, Janelle thought she could have a happy future. Janelle and Kody had 6 children over the next 30 years. She proved to be a devoted wife and a great matriarch, doing everything she could to follow Kody's orders. Janelle spent a large portion of her money with Kody and the other sister wives to buy Coyote Pass, a 14-acre plot of land. She had originally intended to start a family there, but after she and Kody split up, things got complicated and the property became the subject of controversy. For months, Janelle tried to convince Kody to sell the property and give her a reasonable portion of the proceeds. Kody neglected to make sure Janelle and Mary got a just return on their investments in favor of concentrating on increasing profits with Robyn, his surviving wife. Janelle and Marie band together as the issue came to a head and vowed to sue Kody. Soon later, Sister Wives viewers learned that Kody had given Janelle and Mary a share of the property. Kody, Robyn, Janelle, and Mary sold Coyote Pass for $1.5 million in April 2025, according to several news agencies, making $680,000 on their original investment. Additionally, according to the sources, Janelle received approximately $375,000, which is probably more than twice as much as she invested in 2018. Before they formally broke up in 2022, Kody had been out of Janelle's life for a number of years. On her birthday, Janelle recalled an uncomfortable encounter with him, during which she refused his advances. Janelle put all of her energy into herself after the breakup. First, she moved from Flagstaff, Arizona, to all connections with Kody were severed in Chocowinity, North Carolina. She reportedly paid $289,000 for Tate Farms, a piece of agricultural land in North Carolina. Janelle's daughter, Maddie Brush, lives quite close to her husband, Caleb Brush, and their 4 kids as a result of this choice. Janelle shared adorable photos of her son Peyton and daughter Savannah as they were out and about in Raleigh, North Carolina. In December 2024, she disclosed that Peyton had also relocated to North Carolina and secured an apartment in the caption. In order for them all to be nearer, Janelle now wants Christine to purchase a second home in North Carolina. Since Janelle is currently attempting to acquire an identification card in the state, her relocation to North Carolina has been verified. She is keen to settle down in the old North State, even after experiencing a setback at the DMV. After her marriage to Kody ended, Janelle is eager to start the next phase of her life. She continues to see herself as Christine's sister wife, but she is starting to distance herself from her polygamous past. Janelle isn't interested in falling in love again as Christine is. She can't wait to live life to the fullest while unmarried. In North Carolina, Janelle has started construction on a new home that will be close to her daughter's home. After posting a video showing the property where her home would be constructed, Janelle wrote, "My home is slowly coming to fruition. The house has been staked," Janelle told her fans, and she intends to move in by the holidays. "My house will have a large covered front and back porch," she added. "Bring on afternoons spent swinging on the porch with necessary screens for bugs in the summer." Of course, fans of Sister Wives are ecstatic for Janelle and congratulate her on her new life in North Carolina. Achievement. She moved from Arizona to North Carolina, shed a ton of pounds, and started 2 new businesses. She has also started a journey to cleanse herself of any negativity that could prevent her from making the most of her abilities. Janelle has been committed to her detox objectives since the start of 2025 and has been making steady progress. Janelle continues to struggle with the profound grief of losing her grown son, Garrison Brown, in spite of all these great improvements in her life. Janelle recently posted never-before-seen photos of her baby to Instagram along with a touching message honoring him. "In the millions of pictures I have, you look so live," she wrote. "I occasionally forget that I won't see you again. But then I remember." Despite describing loss as an odd feeling, Janelle concluded her message by stating that she would eventually see her son again. The Sister Wives cast member is moving on in spite of her loss, keeping her son's memories close to her heart. Kody Brown, star of Sister Wives, has made a comeback to Cameo, but his customized video messages to fans now cost more than they did before, raising questions about if he's struggling to make ends meet. Rumors that he and Robyn are having financial difficulties have been around for years. It's likely that all of that talk started when Kody filed for bankruptcy in 2005, years before he married Robyn in 2014. At Cameo, the fact that Sister Wives Kody Brown provides birthday greetings, motivational speeches, and more is intriguing. He appears happier when he's promoting messages. He's well known for his flamboyant outbursts on film, in which his resentment at his ex-partners, kids, and even his beloved Robyn usually comes through. He must have increased the cost of his communications because he believes the platform may be a lucrative venture. Perhaps keeping the bottom line in mind, he sought to project a good vibe on Cameo. He used to charge $99 for cameos, but now fans had to pay $149 each. Don Johnson, a well-known celebrity, charges $500 each message, but other celebrities price less. Although they are more expensive than they were previously, Kody's costs for cameos aren't particularly excessive. Cameos are a profitable side employment for reality stars like Kody. Perhaps Kody is charging more at Cameo to cover his expenses because he and Robyn seem to be huge spenders. What does Kody buy with his money? The homes that he and Robyn have purchased are, in fact, extremely costly. In late 2024, they sold one house for $1.775 million, and shortly after, they bought a second one for $2.1 million. As Robyn and Kody get paid for their appearances on reality TV, and their earnings may not cover all of their expenses for years. When Robyn was getting ready to marry Kody, she owed roughly $30,000. In order to obtain mortgages in Las Vegas, the other Browns had to settle the debt. Kody and Robyn spent a lot of money on more than simply home. Additionally, it's jewelry like the matching signet rings by David Yurman that Robyn and Kody wear. In the video above, you can see his ring. Kody's expensive jewelry has a horse design on it. According to the official David Yurman website, the ring is 14.8 millimeters in diameter and costs $1,250. Prices could differ, but it's a quite costly design. And Kody also has a necklace called Heart of the Ocean from the same upscale jeweler. A lapis lazuli shield is featured in the design. This amulet could represent strength. A person defends himself with a shield, and Kody is particularly defensive about practically everything. Those two women benefited from that gentlemanly gesture. They each received $375,000, which is a substantial sum of money. Kody held 97% of Coyote Pass prior to the patriarch spending $5 to alter the ownership distribution. Kody and Robyn received $750,000 from the $1.5 million sale of the land. By being morally upright, and Kody achieved a new level of maturity when he realized that his ex-partners had contributed to the family's development in the same way that he had. However, he had less money in his personal bank account as a result of giving his ex-partners more money. Kody's wife has a penchant for luxury. Katie Paulson, an adventurous reporter for Without a Crystal Ball, recently exposed Robyn's creepy doll obsession and called her out. According to the official Instagram account of that publication, Robyn spent a staggering sum of money on personalized doll clothing, American Girl dolls, and other dolls. These trinkets are said to have cost her 70 kiki. It must have been enjoyable to purchase all those things, but it seems excessive, as if Robyn was using her purchases as a coping mechanism. She can also take pleasure in showing off the toys to her loved ones. Investopedia suggests that conspicuous consumption may be involved. Conspicuous consumerism, according to one website, is the purchase of goods to display one's wealth. Robyn, who once had trouble affording Victoria's Secret clothing, might share Kody's desire to appear wealthy after years of adversity. Desiring items is perfectly acceptable, but it's possible that they have overspent. He may feel more financially secure now that they have sold their house in Coyote Pass, and Kody is earning money from Cameo, where he has a 4.86 rating based on 144 films. But it's equally likely that he always feels like the wolf is at the door. Many people, including celebrities, struggle with financial uncertainty. I hope Robyn and Kody, the Sister Wives stars, have enough money to meet their expenses. Star of Sister Wives Kody brought up 18 kids. With the death of Garrison Brown, there are now 17 children. He will always be remembered. Kody has seen many highs and lows during his life, some of which were caused by financial issues that required time to resolve. There is always hope, though, and it appears like Cody is making an effort to organize his finances. Although there isn't any evidence, it's always possible that they are having financial difficulties. If so, Cody's actions might relieve some of the burden. Although Sister Wives star Janelle Brown has fully established in North Carolina, she is currently dealing with a big problem in the Old North state. She became part of Cody Brown's. His second wife was from a polygamous background. But during the 2020 pandemic, Janelle and Cody's relationship encountered difficulties that caused a gap between them. As time went on, Janelle made the decision to split from Cody, but not before obtaining her just share of the land in Coyote Pass. As a result, Robyn and Cody sold the property for $1.5 million after paying off a $340,000 loan. On her Instagram story, Janelle disclosed that she had been attempting to get her driver's license, but had been unable to do so because of unforeseen delays. Janelle called her failure an adventure. She said, "Trying to get my North Carolina driver's license because, well, I'm really settled now." Janelle has to get the license even if she put it off for months. Unfortunately, she was lacking a document, so she didn't receive it on Thursday. Janelle promised to pick up her license this week at the Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV. Janelle is applying for her driver's license in an attempt to complete her move to North Carolina. She acknowledged not having when she initially arrived in the state. She visited the DMV. Rather, she waited as long as possible to obtain the ID and license until it was required. Janelle is currently making a hasty attempt to obtain her driver's license. Her rapid attempts to obtain her ID suggest that she could require it for a particular purpose. Perhaps Janelle's new journey had anything to do with the Coyote Pass sale. She also made a passing mention of the new Real ID regulations. Additionally, Janelle's hasty decision to obtain her driver's license suggests that she is finally taking a crucial next step in securing her position in North Carolina. She formerly shared a home with her ex-husband Cody in Arizona. Nevertheless, getting her driver's license is a smart move now that she has broken up with him and moved to North Carolina. In addition to her farm, Janelle runs a number of physical and internet enterprises. It seems that in her new state of residency, getting a driver's license will surely help her and provide her greater freedom. Seeing Janelle is hardly shocking facing a holdup in getting a North Carolina driver's license. She has freely acknowledged that she put off getting the ID for several months. It makes sense then that she is now in dire need of it and is making every effort to get it as soon as possible. Despite waiting in line, Janelle hasn't been able to obtain her license yet because North Carolina is a densely populated state with nearly 10 million citizens. The Sister Wives actress is optimistic and expects to receive permission shortly from the DMV. The Sister Wives star Janelle Brown is showcasing her transformation this spring, showcasing her glowing skin and vibrant, exciting wardrobe. She is not the same person she was when she was married to Cody Brown. After her decades-long spiritual relationship ended, Janelle lost her son, Garrison Brown, and she now lives with a great deal of pain. Some people who lose their children feel as though their hopes for the future also die, according to a National Library of Medicine study. This type of loss can be extremely devastating. Janelle loved her son and is in pain, but she doesn't give up. Janelle started a life cleanse a few months ago, and it appears to be helping her body, mind, and soul. Grief is a torturous experience. The waves of anguish can strike with tidal intensity. In an attempt to calm her tense nerves and strong emotions, Janelle is now routinely journaling, practicing meditation, and reducing her screen time. She started Janelle's flower business, Tida Farms, and is getting ready to build a house in North Carolina going ahead. Although the screenshot above was taken from Janelle's Instagram in late February, she was already getting ready for spring and looked radiant in a lovely peony pink dress. The smooth, silky blowout is undoubtedly one of her best hairstyles, and the gentle pastel is ideal for her coloring. Actually, Janelle looks stunning in her attractive ensemble. Although she doesn't need it, Janelle doesn't wear much makeup. Her eyes are gleaming, and her skin is clear and brilliant. This is the type of contentment Janelle wants, as she appears so at ease here. Spending time with those that care about her makes Janelle bright. Above, she eats supper with Christine and David Woolley, a married couple and business partners, as well as other relatives and acquaintances. She comes one step closer to recovery each time she is in a stress-free environment where she is treated with unconditional value. Simple joys that ease the pain of sorrow, even if only momentarily, are the focus of this approach. Fortunately, Janelle has individuals like Christine who would stop at nothing to help her, even though she is increasingly choosing separation. Cool undertones can be seen in Janelle's light beige skin. Janelle is a light summer if you're into seasonal beauty. As she always wears, she looks amazing with her cool cherry tones. Her neutral hues like sage look good, but they're not quite as right as the pinks and purples that go well with summer types. Janelle seems younger and more radiant in the raspberry blouse pictured above. She might not appear as refined and attractive in warm hues like orange and rust. Janelle stated in her post, "In the photo above, Janelle was having a birthday party for her granddaughter, Avalon Padron, the daughter of my Kelty and Tony Padron. It was another warm and fuzzy event with family." Janelle described the sweets that were served on that particular day, such as an ice cream sandwich cake. Janelle was joyful and stunning in her post. Janelle is at her best when she is surrounded by love, but she can also offer love in addition to receiving it. She actually seems to be happier giving than getting. Janelle Brown of Sister Wives is grieving her marriage and emerging from her shell following a devastating loss. Janelle desired more from her relationship with Cody because she loved him. But when it became apparent that there was no chance of reestablishing the close relationship they had once had, she had the courage to depart. She is prepared to take even more charge of her own life now that spring has arrived. She is now implementing the plans she established a long time ago when her detox got things started. Her formula for a beautiful, sun-drenched spring includes a business, a future home, and quality time spent with loved ones. Life is difficult. Nobody always avoids the agony. There will always be difficult times, but those who love themselves will learn to persevere through them. They discover coping mechanisms. They decide on happiness. Janelle is demonstrating her positivity by dressing cutely. She's achieving a hard-won sense of inner serenity that is independent of anyone's viewpoint or perspective. It has to do with her own feelings and her self-belief. Janelle Brown from Sister Wives is stronger, smarter, and more aware of the cosmos than she has ever been. I wish for peace, light, and love throughout the spring and the upcoming summer. Let us know in your comments. And stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks, everyone.